I used to eat grass. Like, actually, like, I literally, like, swallowed it. Like, chewed and swallowed it. And that sounds, like, really weird out of context, but, like, I promise it's not what you think. Hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer Lehman, and welcome to the first episode of the Tell Me Another podcast. I'm so excited because so I have another podcast where I do, like, gospel related things. So, like, I post about, like, the Bible, like, basically, like, a Bible study type thing. But I wanted to make a, like, regular podcast talking about, like, stories about, like, my life mostly is what I'm going to be talking about, but, like, obviously I'll run out of those eventually. So then when that does happen, I will do, like, occasional episodes where I post about internet drama or reacting to your guys' like confessions and stories as well. And I can take suggestions from you. Whatever the heck I really want to post on this podcast is what I'm going to post, but it's mainly a storytelling podcast. So I'm so excited because I have such a good, fun first episode for you guys. It's gonna be so embarrassing, but in today's episode, I wanted to focus on, like, how weird we all were as kids, because I know I was a weird child, like, a weird child, and, like, I don't know, I don't know what happened, how it happened, but I'm no longer that weird. It's just, like, it's so fascinating to me, like, the psychology behind being a child is just, like, so interesting because children find things so fascinating that adults just don't. And, like, for those of you who don't know me, like, from my other YouTube channel, by the way, it's always in the link of the YouTube version of this podcast. It's always in the description to my regular vlog channel. But for those of you who don't really know who I am, I'm 20 years old, and I therefore am an adult. So I'm no longer a child. And yes, I do have some, like, childlike aspects to me, my personality. I feel like we all do to some degree. Like, very small bits of our personality just stay throughout, like, childhood into adulthood. But I genuinely feel like I'm a completely different person. Like, if I just, like, stood next to my childhood self and, like, had a conversation with her, no, like, I would not be able to, I would lose my patience. Like, I would be like, what are you talking about? Like, no, you're crazy. Why are you acting like this? All of the above. I had good parents as well. It was not a parenting issue. I was just a weird kid, and I'm gonna be going into, like, why that is and what I did. It's super embarrassing. Gosh, I'm, like, actually, like, sweating because, like, I'm exposing myself so hard in this episode, and I, like, really don't want to, but I'm going to. So, yeah. Point is, I was a weird child, right? And I used to do a lot of weird things with my friends or my siblings outside. And one of the things that I did with my brother, Jacob, shout out to Jacob if he's listening to this, we basically gathered, we had this like, bucket, and we would take it and just fill it up with, like, twigs and, like, grass. And this was always after we, like, mowed the lawn. So it's, like, that freshly cut grass, like, just, like, laying all over the lawn, you know? Like, the shreds of the grass that were just cut off. So we would take those, and we would take leaves and dirt and like, clovers, like, anything we could possibly find to make this nature stew, is what we called it. And we would take the hose off the side of the house, and we would just, like, spray in the bucket, soak everything in the water, stir it around with a big stick too. Like, it was like, we were living like cavemen. Like, and we did this, like, at least once a week. And it was just, like, insane, because what we did with it is we would let it sit there for a few minutes. We'd play around in the yard, whatever the heck. And then we'd be like, okay, it's dinner time. And we would legit, like, dare each other to just eat it. And me and my brother were just crazy, right? And we just straight up ate the stew. Did we eat all of it? No, because it was a massive freaking bucket. It was like the size of my torso, probably, like now. Like, it was huge, just full of just like gross like grass, and it looked disgusting. Like, I don't know why like we even thought of the idea of like nature stew, but like we did, and it's like disturbing now, but like yeah, we ate that. Not entirely, like I said, but we did take bites of it, and like we like swallowed pieces. At least I did. I don't know about my brother, but I like literally like digested the grass. And like it was like weird because it didn't taste bad, but I was like, am I allowed to eat this? Because like I'd see like cows eating it, right? And like horses and stuff, whatever else eats grass in the wild. A lot of things, bunnies, everything. I would just see those around, you know? And I was like, wait, like, can humans eat that too? Like, is that a human food? Like, can I? Because I ate lettuce as well. Like, something my mom used to have us do is she would literally make us eat, like, a whole, like, romaine lettuce leaf before school every day. And so, like, I liked that, like, taste. And it tasted similar to that. I'm not going to tell you guys to go out and eat grass, but it does kind of taste good. Like, it kind of does have a flavor to it. And I would say, this is weird, but I would say if I was in a survival situation where I could not, like, eat anything else, I would legit eat the grass. Like, if it's good, if it's not, like, the dry brown, if it's the brown kind, no. But if it's, like, nice, freshly grown, like, green grass, then yes, I would eat it. But would I eat it, like, now just out of my own free will? Absolutely not. Because that's just freaking weird. So, yeah, I used to do that. And I'm surprised I never got sick. Like, I remember one of the days, I think what stopped it is my mom had come outside when we were doing that, or one of my siblings, or someone had told my mom, or my mom saw herself, us eating this stuff out of the bucket. And, then they called us out, whoever it was, whether it was my mom or my sibling, whoever, irrelevant. But they called us out, and then they were like, you're gonna get sick. Like, this is not healthy. Like, there's, like, bugs probably in there that you're, like, digesting that you don't know, like, where they've been. And, like, they can have a bunch of viruses, diseases, whatever, and you're just, like, eating the grass. So, 0 out of 10 would not recommend to do that. Don't just throw a bunch of mud and stuff in, in a bucket and start stirring it around for you to eat. Like, not smart. And now that I'm thinking back on it, I feel like we definitely did that, like, for years in a row. Like I said, once a week. It was very often. So, like, years in a row, once a week. So, like, my digestive system was just, like, a paid actor. Like, it was like, yeah, nothing's wrong, we're good. Because, like, I definitely should have gotten sick. Like, definitely. But I just didn't. But anyway, so I'm pretty sure we might have done that from age, like, 6 or 7 to, I'm gonna say, like, 11 or 12. Like, it stopped, like, right before I was a teenager. So, yeah, as bad as that sounds, like, that sounds so, so bad. But, yeah, I did do that for a really long time, you guys, and it's not good. The next thing I did was I had these, like, woods clubhouses that were basically, like, woods next to my house, or, like, near my friend's house, that we would go out and we would, like, smack down the branches, like, by hand, and, like, we wouldn't even use a saw. We would, like, literally, like, step on the branch and, like, rip it off with our arms and, like, tree climb in there and, like, kick down branches and stuff to make space for ourselves to just, like, hang out. It was just, like, our hangout spot as kids. But there was this one woods clubhouse that we had, the very last one that we had, and a couple things happened in that clubhouse that were actually pretty sketchy, but I'm gonna start off with the first one. There was one time when I was just, like, chilling in a tree in the clubhouse. I'm just gonna call it a clubhouse because that's what we called it. So I was chilling in a tree, like, kind of high up in the tree, honestly. Like, it was not safe, but I was just, like, chilling on the tree branch, and all of a sudden I, like, see this thing, like moving in the leaves, like, underneath me, like, feet down, like, several feet down, like, in the brush and the leaves, whatever. And I was like, what the heck is that? Like, because we don't really see a lot of wildlife in Florida that much, like, roaming around everywhere. So, like, I was like, what is underneath the leaves? I thought it was just like a lizard maybe, but like, no, it was a whole snake. So I see this snake moving around, and I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do? Because I am up here in the tree, my brother's down at the bottom, my friend's over here in the corner, and I have nowhere to go because I can only climb so far up the tree. And fun fact, snakes can go up trees. And I was in its spot, technically. So I was like panicking because I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know if the snake was dangerous, and I didn't know if I like needed to call someone for help. And so I'm just letting my friend know, my brother know, there was a snake right there. Be careful. And they were like, okay, thanks for telling us. But they couldn't do anything either because they didn't want to get hurt. So we were all just standing there patiently waiting for the snake to leave. And we were there for like a good 15 minutes, like trying to like build up the courage. And it still didn't move. And if I recall correctly, my brother, Jacob, was like, okay, just grab the branch and hang on to it like a monkey and swing towards me and I'll catch you. So I did that, and I was like so freaking close to landing where the snake like maybe was, because it like had burrowed back down into the leaves. The thing is, like, you never know with snakes like what their next move is gonna be if they like burrow down. So when I was swinging off that branch, I was like, frick, if I like land anywhere like within the like 2 feet below me, like I'm probably gonna get bitten and hurt or whatever else. But I'm here and alive today to tell you I never got bit by that snake, and I don't know if it was poisonous or not because I didn't know what kind of snake it was. I tried to look it up, but like no pictures are matching on Google, but I know it was bluish, like bluish green. It was the weirdest snake I've ever seen in Florida because we only have like 2 snakes here, I feel like, that like are in my area. So I was like really confused about what species it was, but like that's irrelevant. The point of that story was that that clubhouse was not really that safe, and we were just like chilling around in it, like minding our own business. And so that was like sketchy event number 1. So after that happened, we like didn't go back to the clubhouse for like 2 weeks because like I was terrified. Like I was literally so scared to go back there because I did not want to get hurt or even get close to that scenario again, because I literally, if you guys don't know me, I hate snakes. Snakes and lizards are my biggest freaking fear ever. So I was so done. I was over it, and I did not want to go back there, but we did. And the last occasion that happened in that clubhouse was so embarrassing. I'm not even wanting to tell you guys the story, but I'm going to for the sake of entertainment. But one time, I was pretty young. I would say I was like 9 or 10 years old. We were in the woods clubhouse, and mind you, my house is like just like maybe 20 feet down the freaking road, and so it wasn't even a big deal for me to just leave and go inside my house to use the bathroom. But I really had to pee. Okay, I really had to use the bathroom, and I literally like refused to just take a few steps down to my house, open up the bathroom door, and go pee. And so I had my guy friend and my brother with me, and I was like, guys, I really gotta go to the bathroom, but I like don't wanna use the bathroom at home, especially since like whenever we'd hang out in the clubhouse, we'd always try to like make it like a survival thing and like always be like, yeah, we're like in the wild, even though it was like in the middle of the city, just a random like patch of trees. But anyways, so yeah, I told them that, and they were like, you know, like guys go to the bathroom like standing up, and I was like, yeah, you're right, and why can't they? We were all so young, so like we didn't really know any better, but they were like, you can probably like go standing up too, because I know you wouldn't want to sit down like in all this like grass and stuff, which shout out to them for being thoughtful, because that would have been painful if I had to like sit on like pine needles and like leaves and stuff. Like no, I did not, I'm not about to do that. And I didn't really like, I feel like squatting would be awkward as well. So I was like, what do I do? Like, how do I do this? And they weren't watching. I'm just putting a disclaimer out. My brother and my guy friend were not watching me while I was peeing. They were like, they left the woods so I could have my privacy. And I was just standing there. I was like, am I really like gonna try to freaking pee like a guy right now? Like, I don't know if this is a good idea. But I did it. And I was wearing like bell-bottom jeans. And I didn't think it through, guys. I just didn't. I peed. I followed their directions, what they had told me to do, like what they usually do when they use a bathroom. And then I was like, oh my gosh, why is there pee literally all over me now? Like, I was expecting it to go out in a very, like, neat stream, a very, like, non-messy situation, but it was so bad. It smelled bad, and I couldn't hide it. Because, like, light blue jeans, like, when they're wet, you can tell, especially if it's, like, a lot of liquid, like, it's very noticeable. So I walked out of the woods, and my guy friend and my brother, like, start bursting out in laughter, and they were pointing at me, and they're like, no way, that's so funny. And I was like, no, stop, don't look at me. And it was super embarrassing. And an even more embarrassing thing was that day, literally right after this happened, my family, when we were outside, like my siblings, my parents, they were watching a movie in our living room, and there was a pile of laundry with my clean pants and everything else that I would need to fix the situation. In the room, they were watching a movie, and I walk in there, soaked pants, very obviously I had peed myself, and they paused the movie, and they were like, oh my gosh, what did you do? And then I told them, and they're like, are you serious? Like, you literally tried to pee like a guy? And I was like, yes, yep, I did. And I'm an idiot for that. I apologize for being so dumb and being a disgrace to the family, but I did try to do that, and I did do it, but it was super messy. Do not recommend. I do not recommend. Any of you ladies, do not try to pee standing up. If you do, be fully prepared for a mess, please. Like, bring a towel or something with you. But yeah, so that was embarrassing. I hope that wasn't TMI, but that's the whole point of this podcast, for me to freaking embarrass myself. So I am going to embarrass myself. And an even juicier thing that I used to do, actually, I don't know if it's really that juicy. It's just like a classic, like, outdoorsy child thing to do. But I would always love to go Bigfoot hunting. I would, like, literally, like, I was the biggest Bigfoot fan ever. Like, biggest Bigfoot fan. I would have, honestly, okay, that's an exaggeration a little bit. I didn't have, like, Bigfoot posters or anything like that, but, like, I just basically had, like, these things where I would write, like, little cryptid books. Cryptids are, like, those mythical whatever creatures that, like, Bigfoot, Nessie, all those things. I would write little, like, fan stories of those in my free time in school instead of, like, doing my work. I would do that. And then at recess I'd go Bigfoot hunting, and in my neighborhood, like, almost every day I'd, like, go on a walk and, like, try to spot Bigfoot. And I would, like, literally, like, hallucinate these, like, ginormous monkey men, like, in the forest, like, just walking by, and I'd be like, I saw Bigfoot today. Like, I'd go back to school and be, like, bragging to my friends, which, oh my gosh, I would love to talk to them now and be like, what were you thinking about me in that moment? Like, what were your impressions of me? And I bet they would say that I was crazy, if they even remember me doing that. But yeah, I did it every day, and I was, like, so freaking in love with Bigfoot. Like, I was his stan. And I still kind of believe in Bigfoot, honestly, but not to the point of going, like, Bigfoot hunting, because if, like, Bigfoot is one person, like, that's, like, a very, very low chance of just finding him roaming your neighborhood, you know? But anyway, so I used to go Bigfoot hunting. That's embarrassing. And I remember this one time I was in my backyard, and I had made this whole story because my family was like, Jennifer, like, Bigfoot is not real, like, get over it. And I went in the backyard, and I, like, could have sworn I saw a monkey man, like, of some sort. And, like, still to this day, I don't really know what I saw, but, like, I don't think it was Bigfoot. But I claimed it was Bigfoot as a kid, and I was like, literally, look at this, and I had, like, taken a video and everything. And then when I went to show them the video was, like, gone. And I was like, okay, great, that's, like, amazing. But I was literally, like, you know, like, that video, that picture, whatever the frick it is, like, of Bigfoot, the first sighting of Bigfoot, I was like trying to be the newer version, like the Gen Z version of that like videographer photographer guy, but like it failed, and I was like so upset. Like I literally had a mental breakdown. I was so mad because I was like, I literally caught him on camera and I didn't freaking get the proof, but I didn't actually. I've never seen Bigfoot in my life, so it would have been a lie anyways. But yeah, that is quite crazy, and it was definitely a part of my child imagination. And to end the episode, I used to eat things a lot, like kind of going back to the grass thing. Like I used to eat things that were just not supposed to be eaten, like at all, not edible. I used to eat paint off my bunk beds. Like I literally have like paint that is peeled off the side of my bunk beds because I literally like peeled it off and rolled it up into a ball, ate it, chewed it like gum, and like swallowed it. Like what? No. Like that is insane because like that is not healthy at all. Like paint is like toxic to eat. Like I'm pretty sure it's like not good for you at all. And I remember like getting like little stomach aches after I'd eat like a bunch because I literally ate it in like big. I would roll it into like quarter-sized balls and just like eat them. Like that's like crazy. I would chew it up completely and digest it just like I did the grass. Like I don't know what was wrong with me. And I also had a freaking addiction. Like not even kidding when I say addiction. Like I would eat it all the time. I would eat eraser shavings and I would eat like erasers. Like I still have erasers like in my closet from like past school projects that like have bite marks on them because I'd eaten them. And like my mom had to like hide the erasers from me because she was like, Jennifer, you're like eating these. That's not healthy. Because they're like made out of like rubber or something, right? Like I don't even know what erasers are made out of, but like I would literally eat them, chew them, digest them. And I remember one time, I think it was one of my teachers in school saw me doing that and she's like, what are you eating? And I was like, oh frick. And that's when I really realized I was like, maybe this like isn't normal to be like eating an eraser. And like kids would make fun of me and I was like, yeah, maybe I am a bit weird. But like in high school, like it literally was such a bad habit. Like I don't even know. But in high school I even had that problem, like all the way up to senior year. But I like stopped going to high school, like I think, what year was it? 2021. I'm a high school dropout, by the way, for those of you who don't know. And I could do another episode on that, on this podcast. But I literally had that problem up until I dropped out. And that's like crazy to me because I was like a whole 18-year-old. Like what? What the heck? Why was I eating erasers? I like definitely knew better and I just ate them. And I also ate paper too. Like I would like literally like roll it up and like suck on it and then just like eat it. That's crazy. Like what the heck? Oh my gosh, I'm remembering so many things that I used to eat. I ate nail polish too. Like I'm a big nail painter, nail art like enthusiast, and I used to like literally eat nail polish like when it was still kind of wet and like also when it was dry. Like that's not okay. I don't know how I'm alive, you guys. Like I've eaten so many things that I probably should not have eaten. And last thing I think is I used to eat like the thread off of like clothes. Like you know when you like have a shirt and it has like a loose thread, I would pull it off and just like eat it and swallow it. Like why? Why did I do that? I don't understand. And of course the classic one, I bit my nails. But I feel like everybody does. But I like digested it. I feel like a lot of people just like spit them out, but like I literally ate it because I was eating all these other things. So it wasn't really gross to me that I ate my nails, but yeah, that happened. And I literally can't believe I just told all you guys that. But yeah, I ate so many things that I should not have eaten. And honestly, all this stuff put together in this episode, I'm grateful that I am alive. I'm grateful that I'm an adult that knows how to act and I'm not my child self, because if I was still my child self, you guys, like nobody would talk to me. Like I would have no friends, like at all. I would have nobody that would want to come near me, step near me. I don't know how I had friends as a kid because like I was like psycho. I guess it's because like all kids are kind of the same. Like we all kind of had the same mind, way of thinking, all of that, all of the above. But yeah, I was definitely super weird, and I'm glad I'm not that way anymore. I do have my quirks, and I do have some things that, like I said earlier, that I still do as an adult that I did as a kid, but like it's just because I'm the same person. But yeah. Wow, guys. I don't even know how to end this episode other than saying I am so embarrassed, but it's okay. That is the point of this podcast. I'm so happy you guys listened today. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you are listening to it on YouTube, and if you are listening to it on Spotify or any of the other platforms that I'm on currently, please follow it, rate it, leave me your feedback wherever possible, wherever applicable, and it would be greatly appreciated. It really does help me out a lot, and it helps my podcast to grow and for me to know that you guys like what I'm putting out. Thank you for being here once again. I love you all so much. You guys are awesome. I can't wait for you guys to get to know me more through this podcast and get to know my crazy life, because man, it really is insane. You would be surprised by some of the stories I'm going to put out in the next few weeks. New episodes every Friday. I don't really have a specific time, but every Friday, and I'm so excited for this new journey. Again, follow, subscribe, whatever, you guys get the point, and I will see all of you guys in the next episode. Bye!